Hi everyone, this is Helena Kraus and welcome to another card video. In this video, I'm featuring the new My Monthly Hero kit for May 2021, and let's take a closer look at the kit. Also the add-ons. This month is underwater theme, and there's some amazing images that come in the kit. I've already stamped and colored those with alcohol markers. And you can see all the stamped images there. Also, there are some sentiments and coordinating dies. So now let's take a look at the add-ons. We have the Looking Glass Lighthouse die. This is a set of three dies that can be layered together to create a fun layering cut out onto your card front. So also for these dies, those are like little squares that are meant to be cut on your card front. And also there are two positioning stencils, alignment tools for A2 cards, also can fit A7, A6 actually, and a slimline alignment stencil as well. So that's the A2, and here's the slimline. Has three openings and outline to layer your slimline card. Also, there's another Looking Glass. This is Underwater Reef. Next, we have the Lifestyle Mermaid. Then we have the Seashells Fancy Dies, the color layering balloon that comes with coordinating dies, the Swirling Tide Border Fancy Die, in a pinch set and coordinating dies, the See You mini stamp set, the Water Flow slimline stencil, and then we have some bold prints. We have the Happiness Waves, the Naturalis pattern bold prints, and the inverse bubbles. So let's get started. I'll be using the inverse bubbles bold print to create my card. And here's a quick look of the card that I had for the countdown. I did some no line coloring. Also the contour and the Intens-ified Hero Arts inks come like cubes come in the kit as well. So here I'm cutting a panel down to 4 by 5.25, and I'm trying to position where I want all my elements to go. Later in the process, you will see that I lost that green fish there, and I will color and die cut new one. To make this video shorter, because it's already 15 minutes, I stamped the images using the Intens-ified black ink onto white cardstock, and I colored with alcohol markers. So here I'm masking an inch from the bottom of my panel and applying the embossing and watermark ink and then sand embossing powder. Later on, here I stamped the background directly onto this panel, but I decided not to use that one and stamped, you'll see me stamping a different one. So I'm just cutting out this piece of this strip of embossing powder. So I'm applying one more time of the embossing ink to have a little bit more texture and the sand embossing powder. I'm heat setting that part and removing that post-it tape. So next I'm positioning the bold print into my MISTI. When I stamp backgrounds, I position the stamp on the base and then using little adhesive, adhere the piece of cardstock I'm stamping onto the lid. So here I have clean piece of white cardstock and I'm using the Antigua shadow ink. I'm stamping a few times to have nice and even coverage. There in the bottom I did not have covered it well, so now it's good. And now I'll go on to positioning my elements. In the meantime, I decided to use my heat tool to dry that panel because I stamped several times just to make sure that it's nice and dry. So here I'm cutting that strip 1 inch. And my panel that I stamped the background wasn't 4 by 5 1/4, so I'm trimming it down to 4 by 5 1/4. Next, I'll adhere that sand border onto the bottom of the background. Okay, now let's arrange the elements. I decided to have the jellyfish and the seahorse to be pulling out from behind that coral. And I'm marking with my pencil where I want that coral image to be cut off from the side. Next, I'm adding only foam tape on the edge there because the jellyfish and the seahorse will be hiding behind that image, so I didn't want the foam tape to interfere with the images going in and out of from behind that image. Just positioning the jellyfish and the seahorse how I want them to be arranged, and I'm using some repositionable tape to tape those together for the time being. And then I'll use the Hero Arts Precision Glue to adhere those together because we'll have only one pull tab and those images will move together. So this way both of them will move at the same time. So I'm gonna let that dry, and in the meantime I'll cut a strip of acetate. I'm cutting 1/4 of an inch, and we're gonna adhere it in the back. So this way the pull tab, that strip, since it's made from acetate, you won't be able to see it. Next, I'm using some strong tape to adhere that acetate tab on the back of the image. I need to make sure that it will stand straight, so our seahorse is not leaning towards the left or the right. It's standing nice and straight. And then I'll add the acetate tab on the back. Now I'm just testing to see how far I want that to go, and we have the jellyfish extension there, so it can't go too far behind the coral. Now, using my paper trimmer, I cut a slit on that border between the sand embossing powder and the background. Just in the middle, it doesn't go all the way to cut that panel in 2 pieces, just a slit to help that those images move. So I decided to trim off a piece of that foam tape so we can push that jellyfish further back. Now remove the ends, the backing of that foam tape, and adhere to the panel. Now I will add another starfish and a shell. So in a little bit you will see me how I am moving those a little bit further down on that sand background, since they were interfering with the jellyfish moving in and from behind the image. Next I will add the little clownfish, and I'm using foam adhesive to add those to my background. I think those are good there. Now I'm trying to see if I wanted to add that fish or not. So now I'm trimming, since when I pull out the jellyfish, I don't see all the tentacles all the way, so I decided to cut those a little bit so the jellyfish can go further in behind the images. So here I'm moving that starfish and the shell further down so we give more room for the jellyfish to move back and forth. So I think that goes nice and smooth. Now I'm cutting 2 strips of, it's not 1/4 inch, but it's 3/8 of an inch white strips. I layer those together to have more sturdy pull tab, and I'm writing the word pull on the edge. So using one of the smaller circle infinity dies, I cut a tab onto the sand part. So this is where our pull tab will go. I added little strip of adhesive tape on the back of that acetate and adhered the pull tab. Now I'm just trimming off the excess, and the side I left a little bit to the side just for security. And I will add kind of guides for that pull tab to move back and forth. So I'm adding foam tape under the strip, under the pull tab. I'm adding on the sides to act as a stopper so that you don't lose that pull tab. And I will do the same to the right so the jellyfish doesn't go all the way through little Nemo or the little clownfish. Just do not add any foam adhesive under above that pull tab, between the slit and the pull tab. So we have space except the stoppers, so we have space for that pull tab to move back and forth or left and right. Now I'm using my anti-static powder tool to kind of remove any excess adhesive that's on the sides of that foam tape and make gliding of that pull tab to go more smoother. And I'll just end up covering the entire panel with foam tape. And I will add another piece of cardstock to cover that pull tab or sliding mechanism. So I have another piece of 4 by 5 1/4 white cardstock. You can add this directly to your card front, but usually when I use foam tape, I don't always adhere it straight and then I need to pull it out. This way, it will allow me to use liquid adhesive and adhere it to my card base. So here I'm just testing the mechanism. I think that's fine. I decided like it was catching on the coral on the top, so I decided to add a little piece of foam tape to leave that coral because it did not have any there, so it was kind of falling down, and the seahorse ended up catching onto it. Now I'm adding that liquid adhesive, the Hero Arts Precision Glue, and adhere it to one of the Hero Arts top folding note cards. Since I lost my fish, I decided to color another one, and I decided to change the colors a little bit. I went with blue and green combo instead of just green. So I'm just doing quick coloring here, nothing fancy. And then I will die cut it using the coordinating die. And by magic of YouTube, we have that fish done, cut out. I will just put adhesive on the back and put it on my card. So I think that looks good. Next, we're just left to stamp a sentiment and add it to our card. I'm using pitch black cardstock. And one of the sentiments that comes in the kit, the stamp set from the kit, sending you a little vitamin C. And I'm using detailed white embossing powder to emboss it. I'm just using my paper trimmer to cut that to a nice rectangle. I think that looks good there. I'll add precision glue on the back and adhere it to my card. And this finishes our card. So here's again closer look of the card and that pull mechanism, how the seahorse and the jellyfish come out from behind the coral. Thank you for watching and hope that you enjoyed this video, you like this kit, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also visit my blog for more ideas and more inspiration. Thanks for watching. Bye!